All right. So, I started playing Magic at like the age of like 8 or something. Like I traded an Arcanine Pokemon card, like the original one, for this this acquaintance. I think he might have been a classmate, or he was just a bus kid who also rode the bus, and gave me his brother's deck, which I don't know if the brother knew or not. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I've told that story a couple of times, but that was when I was 8. I'm now fucking 33. I don't really. So my last experience playing in a store, or at least playing with people, was not very enjoyable. It was very cold. I mean, one player was kind of cool, but the other two players were very. I mean, like, it's a game where you asking questions, like, and sometimes I wasn't even asking like fucking like any political questions, like, social, stuff that, like, should we take this guy out or whatever. Sometimes I'd ask those questions, but they would just ignore me, even if I asked, like, and the guy was apparently a judge, and when someone else asked them a question, like, and the guy would answer, and it was just like, I'm like, so they didn't take me seriously the first. Maybe I smelled like fucking pod, and I was dressed up how I dress up sometimes, and I do that just because just to, I guess, protect myself or whatever. But so yeah, by the second, my first round, I played Hope, and anyway, so I know let me just, with Blink, you essentially just get anything with enters the battlefield. That's one thing. It gives you some kind of benefit when you enter the battlefield. And you have other creatures that allow you to bounce these creatures. So they'll go either to the exile or something like that. Or sometimes you have something that bounce back to your hand or whatever. And once again, every time they enter the battlefield, there's a benefit to it. And I have a lot of copies just in case, just for like a lot of morph, or not morph, fuck, what are they called? Clones. That's what it is. But that's generally all, and you will make a lot of resources from it. Like, I end up making tons of tokens, whether it be creature tokens, or I don't know if I think I might even have treasure tokens, or it could be, I don't think there's any treasure tokens in white and blue, but it could be. But it's just like, there's just the amount of, just how big your army gets. I can't even think of the word right now, but just how large you just become a problem and almost an annoyance because of how many triggers are happening. There's so much thought having to happen, but it's so getting back real quick to, being at 33, I don't really just like want to make a tribal deck anymore. I had plenty of tribal decks in the past, especially when I was younger, like Dragon deck or Eldrazi deck, Elf deck, Goblin deck, etc. And then I kind of, when I got back into it a couple years back, you have hiatuses or whatever, but I always like appreciated it because of the art, and the game is kind of awesome too, the mechanics and stuff, and the camaraderie and stuff like that. But yeah, just like, I don't know, it has to be an interesting mechanic, has to be an interesting, just something has to be very interesting about it. I have, I think, one tribal deck by this point. I think it's just my elf deck. I think I have like technically two because I love elves so much, but the second deck is a Malaran deck, which is elves and fairies, and the fairy half is just all like about mill and stuff, but it does way worse than mill. Exiles and exile is shit. So back with my last time performing, or not performing, but playing in a store, I was just kept on asking questions, like just general questions, and they just were ignoring me. First match, I was playing with Hope, which his thing is however much life you gain in your turn, at the end, all your opponents lose or mill that many cards. So it's a beautiful concept of milling, but it's a life gain deck, but you just happen to mill. And you could throw a couple other mill cards in it, but for that deck in particular, that I didn't buy all the cards that mechanically would fit Hope's mechanic. It was like a Giada, whatever the fuck, angel deck that I happened to put together because I already had a bunch of life gain in it, but it didn't work. It kind of failed. It flopped. And then the second round I played with my Mothman deck, which is like a counter deck, and it just like fucking, I definitely could have won. I didn't play test the deck, so I had no idea how to actually win, but I definitely had ways of winning. I just didn't. So I don't. I mean, I lost. Well, let's just say I lost that one. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's just a game. But I feel like, technically, I mean, I drew out. I drew out my entire deck, or could have that turn. I just didn't know. I was just trying to look for an answer. And the guy, once again, the fucking judge was like, I gotta look for an answer. So I was just like, I was so put off by that experience. I'm like, dude, this is just a game. We're not even playing for point. Like, there is literally not even like. I don't even think there was even a fellowship thing. It was just like you're playing the same person. Like, you pay like $5 to just occupy a store. They give you a pack, and then like where some other places where like you get actually like a score that's attached to your wizard's fucking code or account or whatever the fuck. But this, I mean, once again, it's just casual, and they were just playing so fucking like competitively, and it just put me off, dude. And that's why by this point, like, I love Magic the Gathering, and I'm sure I'll possibly find people to play again with, maybe, or I'll just play by myself. I'll play fucking a 4-way by myself, I guess. Fuck myself 4 ways. That's typically how I do it. But yeah, by this point, like, a lot of the decks that I recorded the video for or whatever, just like a bunch of decks that I no longer care for, or I just don't. I know, I'm just trying to downsize. I hate moving, and having to move a bunch of stuff sucks. So, I mean, I feel like I pretty much said everything about a blank deck. I mean, blank decks are so dope. I mean, there are plenty. You can dip into black, you can dip into other colors. I did see that black, blue, and white would be pretty gnarly, but blue and white, I don't know, man. I like minimalism. So, but and it's relatively a cheap deck. You could make, there's obviously a lot more expensive stuff. So there's double triggers and stuff like that, permanents and artifacts that double the effects. But yeah, man, I can't remember the fucking guy. Why don't I remember the guy's name? Hold on 1 second. 1 second. It'll pop up. Yorion, or it could be Orion. Yorion, Sky Nomad. I just want to say his name at least once. Alright, I just had to just fucking OCD, dude. So, accrue, yield, amass, garner, reap, capitalize. I think capitalize would be a pretty good word. But yeah, in terms of gaining resource, like, just the amount, once again, you will become a threat. Once again, the most important thing is being able to make sure you have creatures that can bounce or blink. I mean, sometimes you can have sorceries or spells in general, instances that allow a creature to exile briefly and then come back either at the end of turn or immediately. You probably want to get cards that make it immediate rather than end of turn. But if you do it right, you'll be literally accruing value or capitalizing value, whatever the fuck, profiting, whatever the fuck. You'll be gaining resources on other people's turns. Like, literally, you'll be literally playing, like, your turn on other people's turns without even playing. I mean, without, obviously, the only thing I guess you can't do, well, potentially, I mean, eventually you might even be able to literally play spells. I mean, if you get like once again, it depends on how competitive you want this deck to be, because a lot of times one problem is you become the arch enemy early on, and then you get taken out, and you have you're fucking like just a torso at the end of the fucking the game, and then they take you out like a pity kill. But the thing is, like, how I play is like you just pack it full of like, okay, so this person, or like, there's a board wipe or someone specifically targeted me or whatever. Like, of course, in the grand scheme of things, there's a chance I'm just not going to be able to come back. That's just how it goes. But if I were to come back, I mean, I just have the parts. Because I guess with Commander, you only can have one of a card, but they've just, especially now, it's been fucking, the game's, I mean, I'm as old as the game is, or the game is older than I am, just by, obviously with the prototype and all that stuff. But, there's a lot of cards, and they have obviously catered to Commander, so there's plenty of, it's like kind of having 4 of one card of sorts, but sometimes it's more than that. But yeah, you gotta double the odds, you gotta triple the odds, you gotta make sure your probability of pulling these cards is pretty great. So, and also taking a consideration or account that you're going to be targeted, or that you can, just the entire board's going to be targeted in general. So you just got to account for all that stuff. And plus, you're just playing a goddamn game. And by the end of the day, like, I see, like, this fucking, like, how magical some of these decks are to me, the reason why I'm keeping them, like, and I have to keep them, and that, like, they just seem so fun and enjoyable to me. I could easily potentially make a story. I could write a book maybe, or, have these characters, like, not literally tell a Magic the Gathering fan fiction or something like that. Like, I could pull inspiration from, kind of like how George Lucas did with Star Wars, just an amalgam of his favorite stuff. And I don't know, man, I could easily tell a fucking fantastic story just based on, and I don't have to even play the game. I'm just building a fucking deck, it's just, but like, these characters just give you ideas, the beauty of the art, and not to mention just also the mechanics of what they, so they have this ability of being able to blink in and out of existence. That's fucking cool. So you have this, like, this society, or maybe it's like a tribe, I don't, or who knows, maybe it's just like a leader with his, band of whatever the fuck, I don't know yet, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to follow the script of whatever the fuck these characters actually are in the Magic the Gathering storyline. I'm not going to use the same names, you know what I mean? But, like, just kind of gives me ideas. So, I don't know. This is a deck that I only made recently within the last couple of years, only because I don't know if I've heard about blinking and stuff, but, like, to actually, don't knock it until you try it. I was not judging a book by its cover, but I just did not understand or see the power, because a lot of times, like, they generally say white and blue are, especially by themselves, are probably the weaker of the bunch. Like, you're a lot more in a defense mode rather than you are in a offense mode. But this is a very offensive, very brutal deck. I mean, it's not Tergrid, which Tergrid, honestly, I have a Tergrid deck, but, like, at the same time, though, I don't intend on ever playing it unless someone's, like, a fucking masochist or a sadist or whatever the fuck. I mean, or loves pain, loves fucking, cause, like, oh my, anyway, let's probably talk about Tergrid another day, but, just, this is like I said, like, in two colors that are generally defensive, this is, like, a extremely offensive deck that, like, it's offensive, man. Like, it's, like, just, like, you will be like, I have to kill this person. This person's a fucking asshole. That's what it'll make you feel. So, and I'm sure there are better exile or blinker commanders. I know there are, but this is just the one that I happen to have, and the artwork is so fucking beautiful, and I think he does the job. So, yeah. Yeah, accrue value. Is that the word? I think that was the word I was looking for, is value. You get a lot of value. That's it.